We, let's see here. We are live, right?
Absolutely. What is going on, everybody? So yeah, I had some technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. My Zoom account's bugging out. I couldn't get a background, so it doesn't look pretty today, but it's not about the way it looks. It's about the company, and it's about the people that are here. Although you guys know I am a bit of a perfectionist, but I do appreciate everyone joining me today. And I definitely have to give it to this guy, Crypto Beadles, because this is his second live stream he's doing tonight. He's just trying to save the planet right now during this dark and desolate time that we have right now in crypto. So, yeah, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, Philip, nice. Okay, cool. So let's get this started. What is going on, everybody? Pleasure to have everybody in the chat. How's it going, Beadles?
What is up, my brother? So yeah, it's the second one, man. I did it with my brother, Crypto Love. I love that guy, man. So it's always cool to hang with them. It's great to hang with you. It's great to, have the people here with us, man, and be able to, address a bunch of their questions. I get hit up all the time. I'm sure you do too, text messages, emails, what's going on with the market. I'll send out some, tweets and some LinkedIn stuff like that. But it seems like most people, for the most part, hit me up on my channel or hit me up, personally. So it's always great to, especially when a lot of YouTubers and people in the space, they're ducking out, they're quitting, they're leaving, they're not doing as much content. It doesn't help the market, and so it's really cool when there's people there that can bring some hope, because at the end of the day, man, we all know blockchain's the future, man. We know that this is where it's all going to be at. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but we definitely know blockchain is the future. So it's cool to have people like yourself and me out here just basically answering questions for people and letting them know that while it sucks today, as long as they're following the fundamental advice, tomorrow is a brand new day, man. It could always be better, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's actually good to have somebody in the space that has been around for quite some time. I've been trying to get people kind of on the channel that are, because I got in May of last year. So I bought my first Bitcoin. I posted it actually on Twitter. It was around 2,200 or something like that. So I'm pretty fresh to this. I've never had really any personal interest in traditional stocks or stuff like that. So I feel like it's been a hell of a learning experience for me, and I think it's been a learning experience for a lot of other people as well. And, obviously the thing that we have to point out is that the tech hasn't changed, but the price has changed. So what's your take on it?
Yeah, there is that. There's a lot of people that raised a lot of money that haven't basically, done anything yet, right? Or if the stuff that they've done, they haven't shown us. And so that definitely doesn't help it, right? And so when you get people like the SEC and all these other, things coming out, scaring the space, when you got people that are supposed to be coming in and bringing a bunch of money and all that investment that we're hoping that would come, it didn't happen. So, you're starting to see that, take effect in the prices and stuff like that. So, but the main thing is you got in last year. And so you bought in, you said it a couple $1,000. You've already doubled your money. Show me any other investment that you can really do that, and there's few and far between. But if you didn't do the fundamental research and you didn't really, check the team and check the tech and do all the, cross your T's and dot your I's, and you bought into some, some questionable projects, it may hurt you a little bit. It may, just a little bit, but the ones that actually start delivering and the people that actually are here to stay, not just to make a quick buck, those projects, those teams, I think will deliver, especially if they become SEC compliant, if they're not already. So there is definitely a bright future for sure. It may not be tomorrow though, right? So I was hoping, by the end of the year, but as soon as I started seeing orders for 300,000 Bitcoin to be sold about a week ago, I realized very quickly that something was happening, and then backed out. And I'm like, crap. So my hopes of the market turning around to the end of this year, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, I can admit when I was wrong. I was hoping I was going to see like a $28,000 Bitcoin this year, but yeah, that's not going to happen, at least in my opinion. Maybe next year for sure. I mean, like I told Love, I'm like, hey, well, at least in Iran it hit 24,000. I was off by $4,000, but but not for the rest of us here, man.
What do you think about all of this stuff with the decentralized exchanges? I mean, I was like feeling the exit scam. I mean, that's what people were saying. I don't honestly think it was an exit scam. I think they did it a little fast though. I mean, straight up just posting it and being like, we're out. You know, I think they could have given people a little more time. But at the same point, you know, they're saying that the SEC is coming for all these exchanges. And I know you guys, you already got your broker dealer license, right? Because you were prepped for this with Monarch. But what do you think is going to happen to a lot of these other guys? There's all these different projects like Metamorph. You know, they're trying to basically do those instant swaps because guys like Shapeshift, you know, now they're doing KYC and they're not letting guys from New York even be able to use it. You think all these guys are going to be running into issues?
I think everything that you see on CoinMarketCap is going to go the way of STO next year, and not everything. I mean, a lot of them are just going to disappear. They're like you just saw with Affiliate, right? Those guys, you know, they raised a bunch of money. It was in ETH. ETH dumped, you know, 80 something percent, 90 something percent. You know, it's like Black Friday, right? So, you know, hey, Bitcoin's 80% off, alts are 98% off, you know, buy, right? Yeah. Well, with them, you know, I don't know that it's a pure exit scam. I think the SEC came out when they ruled against Airfox and Paragon, when they hit Ether Delta. And then with the price of ETH, with BackNut coming in, they probably have bills to pay. They probably don't have the money. They probably aren't SEC compliant. They probably said, screw this. Let's just get out of here. Right. And you're going to see a lot of that coming up. And so, yeah, with Monarch, you know, and I don't like to talk about my own projects and this stuff. I just like to hang out and just talk crypto because it's, you know, like on my channel, I like to, you know, it's fun to interview other projects and let them speak. But when I get to do stuff like this, it's cool just to talk shop a little bit. But yeah, I definitely saw this coming, you know, long ago. That's why we started off in the very beginning with the security token, with the utility token, very clear use case for both, very clear who could invest in each, you know, very clear use cases. And then also we got our broker dealer license. We applied and registered in every single state. There was only 2 states, you know, like New York, as you know, you got to get a BIT license, right? So we applied for it, but there's only been like 3 that have received it so far. So hopefully we'll receive it as well. You know, we definitely work with the SEC. We got some of the best attorneys on the planet. But New York is, you know, is a tough one, right? So hopefully we'll get it. I don't think we won't. I mean, we definitely got.
What is what is it for you? What is New York's deal, man? Like, what is their deal? Like, why am I not allowed to? How come I can't access Basic Attention Token? How come I don't have 0x? How come I can't use Shapeshift.io? Is it?
I gotta be careful not to get in trouble.
What? Right. No, I mean, just asking you, man. What is the deal over here? So
the main regulator that created that law, then left. He's now a consultant that helps people get into New York. So that's about as blunt as I can be, you know. So it's one of those states, you know, and like I said, there's only 2 that we're not in, that we're not licensed with. So, you know, it's one of those that they have some laws in place that I think once crypto becomes a little bit more stable, people start adhering to the SEC. The SEC gets a little bit more clear on what it is they expect from people that are launching their own ICOs, TGEs, their existing projects, whatever. Once they get a little bit more clear, then I think New York, you know, they're all about money, right? I mean, you got Wall Street there. I mean, these guys are freaking the epicenter, right? I mean, that's like some of the smartest dudes on the planet. So don't think for a second crypto won't be there. It's just a little bit of time. You got a little bit of time go by. You got to let the SEC get a little bit more clear cut on what it is that they're, you know, requiring from people. But right now, it's kind of clear a little bit, where, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum are probably going to be utilities. And so those are probably, you know, going to withstand the scrutiny of the SEC. Then you have all these other ones that aren't registering with the SEC, that are selling to US people, or their tokens are in the US on US exchanges and things like that. Those are red flags, because the SEC, however you want to look at it, they want to basically make sure people are compliant. They want to make sure that people are, you know, safe of sorts. You know, they're the investors, the people aren't being taken advantage of. They don't want that bad press. So they have to make sure that, you know, they do what's best for the public of sorts. And so you're going to see a lot of projects, man, on CMC that aren't going to be there next year. They're going to go the way of, you know, the one that you just said. I already forgot their name. That's how quick it's going to happen. So
yeah, no, I just picked one out of a hat. You know, there's so many decentralized exchanges that have been coming out. I mean, I at first I started speaking with them and I was like, oh, but then I realized, like, Jesus, I'm getting hit with like 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 20 different, you know, guys starting their own exchanges every single day. So I just wonder what's going to happen with these guys. I mean, you know, they went after Ether Delta, which is like one of the...
Because he launched his own software. So he created the software and he launched it. So that's where like EOS, they had Block One create the software, and then the public launched it. See, so as soon as Ether Delta launched the software, they became liable for it of sorts. And so that's why Block One and EOS and all those guys there, they saw that coming and did it the way they did it. Does that protect them? I have no idea.
It's just crazy that it's crazy that they're allowed to do that though. Like it's crazy that New York is or US. I mean, like let's say if I launch in Singapore, right? And I set it up and it's software. Now it's on the internet. But the SEC is still going to come after me because a couple of U.S. citizens found their way onto the exchange. Is that how it works? I mean, that's
the thing, man. Nobody really knows, and so that's what's scaring a lot of Wall Street. Like, people are wondering, like, what happened? Why did the market dump? Right? And there's multiple things. There's back didn't come in. You've got Fidelity that probably won't come in this year. You had the ETF that didn't come in. You had Wall Street getting the crap scared out of them with the SEC coming down on AirFox and Paragon and Ether Delta. And then they're like, oh, crap, all these altcoins we're buying may fall under the jurisdiction of the SEC. They may be liable. They may have to refund the money. If they have to refund the money, then guess what? The money isn't there because
I know. That's what I'm thinking. Where is the money?
Exactly, right.
They were just talking Arthur Hayes. They had the BitMEX whatever it is, their email that went out, and they were talking about these the 12 ICOs, one of them being Telegram, I think it is, which is the massive one, and there's a few other ones like Definity, Rootstock, there's a few others, and they've all done over 50 million, and they're all just holding. So the question is, like, ETH has gone down. Back when these guys were doing their ICOs, ETH was like $500, $600. Now it's like 120. So how, I mean, you got to have some pretty damn good market makers to convince us, because I'm seeing ICOs, but I know for a fact private investors got in at certain prices, and those private investor prices are now like 25%. So the regular ICO prices are shot.
No, you're right, man. Like whatever people are buying in at these ICO prices in today's market, once it hits the exchanges, like people got upset at me in January when I was predicting prices for stuff. And I'm like, you're lucky if in December or whatever, this is at the price you bought it at. And people got upset because they were so used to the December and January prices. I saw some of this stuff coming, man. It's scary. It's a little frustrating. That's why like my biggest holdings have always been, like Bitcoin and Ethereum and things like that. But it's until we really have some clarity, man, it's going to be hazardous for people to invest in ICOs at this point, man. You really need to make sure that they're SEC compliant, because that's what it's going to boil down to. People can say, oh man, it's just the US, but the US is a monster. It is. It's like so much money comes from here, especially into crypto. When you look at the prices of Bitcoin, the retail mania that drove it up, all that kind of stuff, a lot of that was US based. I mean, I understand Korea is huge in it as well. But the US is substantial. And so if they're not compliant here, it's going to create issues. And so a lot of that stuff that you see on CMC isn't going to be there. It's that simple. So for people investing now, they need to be very cognizant of that and make sure that they're investing in companies that are SEC compliant today. And then the ones that are already out there, they better be headquartered outside of the US if they've raised a lot of money. Otherwise, in my opinion, and I'm not a financial expert or advisor or any of that kind of stuff, or a lawyer or any of that kind of stuff, but people that have raised a lot of money here in the US, they're going to be in trouble if they're not registered properly with the SEC. And so the investors that have put a lot of money into that may lose it. They may go the way of the dodo. And that's why a lot of these companies that have raised a lot of money have not delivered their tokens or coins, because they're afraid of what the SEC will do. A lot of these companies may have already got subpoenas and we don't even know about it, and so they're trying to figure out, what to tell people. That's why with Monarch, I've been really careful who I pick for as a blockchain. Initially, I was just going to do it ourselves. I was just going to create our own blockchain. I figured out a real easy way to do it. It'd be great, be awesome. But I was like, you know what? It's still going to take a lot of time. I'm going to be reinventing the wheel. Let's just pick a solid partner out there for a blockchain. Well, I need to raise a lot less money, and then, it'll benefit people. But then as I started looking at blockchains, I started realizing that a lot of them only do utility tokens, but there's facets to them that may fail the Howey test or may fail the way the SEC is looking at them today, or maybe tomorrow, or who even knows. And so I'm a little leery about, certain blockchain providers or builders that we pick, especially if they fall within the preview of the US. So for people looking to invest or participate, in ICOs, TGs, things like that, that aren't SEC compliant, that is super, super risky. All I can say is make sure if they have to, they want to, whatever, that they're an offshore company. They're not part of mainland US. They're in some country that's friendly to crypto, that doesn't have the same oversight, and pray to God those tokens don't hit US soil, because if they do, then, the US could come after them. So,
yeah, no, it's going to be incredible. It's really going to be crazy. Like, especially even with just all this stuff with the forks, the Bitcoin Cash stuff. I mean, that was like literally the worst possible thing you could ever do, given the situation that we were in right now. And the thing is I know that we've had discussions before about certain opinions on XRP, but it's actually sad because people are actually turning to XRP for stability in times like this, when we're actually seeing proof of work coins scaring people away because of this ability to centralize, fork, have power, do what you want. You know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody on here said they watched the video SV and then it pumped 50%. Okay, but where is it now? I mean, I'm sure it's not still up. So
yeah, I traded it, all my Bitcoin Cash as soon as I could, all of it, the ABC, the SV, all of it, right into Bitcoin. The thing that pisses me off, that like I told Love, I spent a month, developing, putting Bitcoin Cash, building it out for Monarch, and then they announced this fork that they're doing. I'm like, stop everything. Do not add this to our wallet. Don't do it, because something is going to happen here. Don't do it. And then you see what happens. SVC, ABC, we wasted basically a month integrating Bitcoin Cash into Monarch. So I was doing that, to help, to support, to do all that kind of stuff, to help the community, even that project. And then now, like if I had added that to our wallet and people had, they placed their Bitcoin Cash on there, nobody even knows like what's going to happen with ABC, SV, any of this kind of stuff, and then you got, Craig Wright and Roger Ver, they're not true, like, I don't know, like diplomats, for the cryptocurrency space, right? They're not really presenting themselves to people that offers, calm or security, or like, hey, this is what's cool about crypto. This is why I like it. What they do scares the hell out of people.
Yeah, but aren't they doing what they're saying that they came in this place to get away from? Like, isn't the whole idea of like governments printing money and non-centralization and not being able to alter, the blockchain? But now you see they're putting in these checkpoints, and they're, I mean, really, what is forking essentially? In my opinion, it's a mechanism to print free money. That's what it is. And when you got guys that, Craig claims to own 1 million Bitcoin, so you get a fork, now you got 1 million Bitcoin SV. Yeah, I mean,
it's a good way to scare people, but prove it.
What does he care if it goes down to $2 a coin? He's got 1 million of them.
That's what he says.
Well, whatever.
I mean, he also says he's Satoshi, man. But I mean, if you go back to the essence of Bitcoin, and you look at the block one, you look at the Genesis block, and you look at what was engraved in it when it's talking about the financial crisis and everything that they were creating, to basically keep that from happening again. The man, the group, the people that created Bitcoin is not Craig Wright. The hate in that guy's heart, dude, that is not Bitcoin.
I know. There's no way that Satoshi's vision is coming from that guy. Like, no. It's just, you could tell, like, whoever Satoshi is or who they are, it's not the way this guy speaks. It's just, no. You ever read the Bitcoin white paper? That definitely wasn't written by that guy.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, he's all about the people, man. Basically, freeing the people from, big institutions, from the Fed, from, the big banks. He's not about, think about it. Why would he try to destroy Bitcoin to create some kind of inferior thing, and then basically just say he's going to crash the price of Bitcoin down to 1,000, trash talk so many people, talk down to people? That's not Satoshi. We all know that, man. That's not him, dude. So what this guy did is scare the hell out of Wall Street. That's what he did.
Yeah.
He scared some people.
Now, do you think this is, because I always like to put on the tinfoil hat, because I get bored over here, I don't spend a lot of time looking at charts. We actually had a discussion in the Telegram chat today where we were talking about, I'm going to actually show this comment. That was actually kind of funny. Sometimes if people curse, but that was actually, that was pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, I just think, what was I saying? I completely lost train of thought because somebody just wrote SV stands for saggy vagina, and I literally lost my train of thought in the chat. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
You were talking about a comment, and before that you were talking about Craig Wright. So
yeah, we've been talking about him all week. We don't. Whatever I was gonna say, it doesn't matter anymore. We've talked enough about Craig Wright.
Before that, you were talking about Ripple, and so me, I'm a fan of Ripple and Stellar.
Mhm.
And it's not because of any other reason than, like I always say, people need different types of vehicles. Not everybody wants to drive a Lamborghini. Not everybody wants to drive a big old bus. Not everybody wants to drive, an electric car. You need different vehicles for different people, for different use cases. And these both demonstrate blockchain working today. They've got low transaction fees and they're lightning fast. So if you try to use like a bank wire, like for instance, I own a house in the Bahamas. I live there a bunch. I rent out the house. We have problems there. I have to have the property manager fix them. I can't use PayPal there. Okay, so I can't use PayPal. I have to use. They don't have crypto over there. It's like they have crypto, but nobody accepts it. So it's kind of a mess. So we have to do like bank wires. Like there is like a Bank of America, a Scotiabank, things like that. So we have to deposit money here and then wait 4 days for it to deposit over there. Right. So there's like this 4-day lapse and there's a bunch of fees, a bunch of people waiting, it's kind of a depressed island, actually. There's a lot of people that are hurting for money. But with Ripple, that's why I added it to Monarch, because it's so quick. Like in 4 seconds, boom, you've got it. The transaction fees are so small. The transaction speed's so fast. I get the centralization part of it, but I can say the same thing about almost any project.
Well, Binance is centralized. People use that all the time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but here's the thing. So there was something that somebody had brought up. You were talking about XRP. Now, I think something that could probably help hedge against the volatility of the market is decoupling everything being, against Bitcoin, right? Ethereum was the next big one. You saw that. You saw a little bit of Litecoin pairings, not too many. But why doesn't CZ just make XRP pairings for all the coins?
Don't think that he won't. Yeah, don't think that he won't. I mean, I'm telling you, man. Like I just said, man, on with love. I mean, XRP was before Bitcoin, man. 2004. That's when they started. They've been at this a long freaking time. Jed McCaleb, Fugler, or whatever his name was before him, it started with Ripple. Jed came over, made it work. Jed got into it with the guys at Ripple.
Garlinghouse, you mean? The guy who?
What's that?
Brad Garlinghouse, or who were you talking about?
Well, Garlinghouse, isn't that Coinbase? So no, I was talking about,
I get them all confused anymore. There's somebody. Yeah. No. Jed McCaleb is XLM though.
Jed McCaleb was actually Stellar. He's Stellar Lumens.
Yeah.
He was Mountain.
Yeah, XLM.
He was also Ripple. He created Ripple. It was a guy named like Fugler or something like that. I don't
remember. Yeah, that was a while ago. I mean, keep in mind, dude, it's crazy because you go back on the historical charts and you realize that Ripple has been around for a long time, like you said. So.
But I mean, you look at like Roger Ver, he basically just turned Bitcoin Cash into a centralized thing with his checkpoints.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, decentralization, this is true Satoshi, and then boom, checkpoints, right? Well, we have to protect against the 51% attack. Well, you know what? If it was decentralized, then that would happen if it happened. You know what I mean? It's you have to be a purist, right? You have to be one way or the other. Decentralized is decentralized. You don't have people in control of it, right? So Ripple, has centralized aspects of it for sure. There's no disputing that, but it works. Stellar, I'm sure that there's some decentralized and some centralized aspects of it, but it works. So you have like a banker's coin through Ripple. You got kind of a people's coin through Stellar. That's why I support them both, because I think there's a use case for both, because they both freaking work. And there's so many projects out there that people have dumped all these freaking, like Telegram, raised billions of dollars. What do we got? Nothing, right? Nothing, right? So you have all these projects that have raised all this money that have nothing to show for it.
I was talking to a guy who was trying to justify that raise for the Telegram thing. Because I was like, this is insane. He was like, no, you don't get it. Like, they already have the user base. They already have people using Telegram. So as soon as we incorporate, the token or whatever, they're all going to start using it. And I'm like, okay, but 800 million? And that was just like round one? Are you out of your mind to add a freaking token? Like,
it's ridiculous. Yeah, and Ed here says Roger Ver is all over XRP too. Yeah, he is. He was one of the first investors into XRP once it got to a certain level. So for sure. But again, it works, right? So you got Bitcoin that works, you got Ethereum that works until you put a load on it. Don't think that I'm talking trash on Ethereum. I love Ethereum. I think that's going to be one of the best projects of all time, because it has the biggest development community behind it. But again, it has issues, right? Where Stellar and Ripple, if you want to send money, you can. Boom, no problem. It freaking works. So that I think is cool, man. And then of course, you need a stable coin. You need a stable coin. So that's one of the reasons why I trust token, because it works. It's stayed above $1, which isn't stable, but it's better than being like Tether, where it's where, they're just basically, it appears anyways, I could be wrong, but it looks like they're just printing money and don't have anything backing it up. And when you got, these the federal probes coming at them and they're saying, hey guys, don't worry, we don't suspect any wrongdoing, but we're gonna basically check your books and make sure that you guys are doing things the right way, and that's in the papers. You can pretty much rest assured that it's the opposite of that, in my opinion, that they think Tether's been up to some malicious acts, and so they're coming for them too. And so that's probably some more FUD in the marketplace that isn't going to help this year. But the thing is we're going to have a lot more stable coins next year. People are going to be able to start sending and receiving currency without having to worry about the price, losing their gains, buying a sandwich for $5 and it being worth $50 next year. They're not going to have to worry about that with stable coins. But, to your point about centralization, I mean, if you look at Coinbase, Coinbase, for instance, I mean, it is as centralized as it gets, but that's where like 90-something%, of people, go to buy crypto, at least here in the US, right? Why? Because it's easy. It works.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I use. That's what everybody uses. I mean, like you said, it's like 2 steps, for us basically. So
yeah, so you're going to have a tough time. That's why I ride the fence on decentralized versus centralized. I think there needs to be an aspect of both. Like I always tell people, there needs to be an aspect of customer service. If you lose your seed, your key, something like that, you shouldn't be screwed. While you should be able to maintain it. So, that's a tricky way to do it. So that's why, like, we have a patent on, on basically recurring payments with.
Hey, I just want to ask you a question. I got a few people in the chat, and they're starting to build up over here. They wanted to know about Monarch. Number one, they want to know, what is your opinion on Elastos? And then number two, are you looking to add Elastos to Monarch? Because I know that that's its own coin. So
I know Rongchen. I know the team over there really well. Actually, they have a base in San Francisco. I've been speaking with them quite a bit. I was actually supposed to meet them last week, but in person again. I like them. They're based out of Singapore. So for people that are worried about SEC compliance and things like that, you can say they're a pure utility or whatever, or not. But at least they're based out of Singapore. You have to worry about their tokens hitting U.S. exchanges like you do with any blockchain that's based out of the U.S. that is completely SEC compliant. Rongchen is extremely intelligent, super smart guy. Everything that he's trying to do is very, very different from what's being done out there right now. Everybody else is looking at blockchain very, everybody's kind of looking at it the same way, like transactions per second. It's all about, the most transactions win, blah, blah, blah. Where he's looking at it from, kind of a different, kind of almost a polar opposite side. And the way that he looks at things, the things that he spoke about, his pedigree, it leads me to believe that he's going to do something really cool in the space. So I don't own I own this much Elastos, 0. So I'm not shilling anything, guys. Yeah. Like I own nothing, right? So it could shoot to the moon tomorrow, and hey, that's great for all you ELA holders. But I don't own any of it.
What do you primarily hold? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, I'm sure you're a little more
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monarch, man. So
that's it. Just those 3.
Dude, it's really, really freaking tough for me to invest in ICOs. On my channel, I basically put all these different projects out there for the people.
Mm-hmm.
They ask
me you do more interviews than I do, man. I mean, but you're out there more. I mean, you're always on the floor, at these conferences. So
well, yeah, I mean a little bit, but most of my interviews, if you look, they're like this, they're Zoom meetings and stuff like that. And I basically just cover what the audience asks me to, right? So they'll tell me what projects they want me to cover. I'll either know them or know somebody that knows them, and then I'll put that interview together for them and let the people basically, make up their own mind whether they like them or not. It takes it's really freaky, but if you look at all the projects that I've had, I always told the audience first if I've ever invested in it. So if you go through my 200 and something videos that me and my kid have put together for you guys, like 230 videos, I probably only 5 times said I'm invested in this project. So that tells you something right there, how much I invest, in ICOs, right?
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, you're really busy focusing on what you're doing. I mean, you're trying to actually build a service and a product for people. So you're very focused on that. And I can respect that. And I've definitely, like, literally after talking to you at CryptoCon, have a completely different outlook on Monarch. What I thought was really cool was how you have the MTS token. I didn't know it was a dual token system, and yours is physically backed by silver for real. Like, Not like a Tether thing where like, well, we'll get around to the audit. Like
For real, for real.
actual,
Yeah,
that's cool though, man. Silver, man. That's
Scottsdale
that's
Silver.
that's cool. I'm down with that.
The same company, man, that mints, the gold and silver for central banks, is the same one that mints, our silver, that puts it right there, freaking on the website, the ledger. They control everything, so that way every dollar that comes in, they can actually see, that it's backed by something. It's not just
Exactly. Crypto. Wait, hold on. I just missed this on here. Crypto Don Juan. He just said, hold on. What did he say up here? It just passed. He said, K-Dub and Beadles, hope you had a great holiday. Keep up the good work. And as far as the market, I don't want to hear the crybabies. LOL, buy the dip. We all know where this market is headed. $20. Geez, thanks, bro. Well, I forgot. My boy over here just got rich off Digitex. He was telling me to buy it when it was like 3 million, and we were just, and then the thing skyrocketed. So there's still time. There's still ways you can make money in this. People are worried about the bear market. There's always something pumping, but it feels to me like a lot of it feels like gambling right now, personally. Like I feel like trying to make sick gains right now in this market, like you're legitimately gambling. I mean, that's just how I feel, like especially with anything that's lower than like, especially the first page of, anything on the second page of CoinMarketCap, you are just straight up. What is your opinion on it? I think you're gambling. How can we get Monarch tokens? Somebody asked. They're not out yet, right?
No, so there's a couple different ways, right? So we actually have 3 tokens. So this is something we did, like a year ago, which is confusing to people. We realized that you're going to need to be SEC compliant. Otherwise, the people that participate, your investors, everything that you're building is really just, you're playing Russian roulette. So we've got a security token for accredited investors. And then we have a utility token, which basically just operates our system. And then we have what's called a Monarch, promo token. All right. And so that promo token for people that, participate in airdrops and the bounties and all that kind of stuff, they're airdropped, these free tokens just for help spreading the word. So we have those available for people that just want to buy tokens. I really, I want people to download our app and use it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about raising money. God's been great to us.
Well,
man.
For me personally, if I could cut you off, what got me the most excited, and you're going to just say this is pretty on the surface, but I like the fact that you're like really fair with your payouts. You're doing 50% for people that hold tokens. I
60.
can't 60?
Yeah. Well, 10% goes to silver and 50% is a shared revenue.
Oh my God, that's insane, bro. I mean, what does Binance give you? Like 0.005 or 1 or something like that? Like, I mean, you guys are literally giving 60%.
You got to keep the lights on. So, yeah, but no, I mean, what I want to see people do is download the app and use it. So I don't care about people, buying anything. I've always told my audience that's why I don't care about them, spending money or buying, our tokens. If they really want tokens, just, participate, in the bounties, you get free tokens. There you go. I don't need your money. This is something, I know it sounds crazy compared to most people in the space, but I really just want to create something that people actually use. We will make our money off the merchants. Like we're already so far ahead of our roadmap. We're already integrating our payment processing for, basically crypto to fiat for them, where we make our money off the merchants, not the users. Yeah, there'll be a small percentage we'll have to make when.
Well, that's how it is now anyway, and that's kind of how it should be. I mean, that's, if you own a business, and I swipe my credit card, I don't get hit the fee, the merchant does, so exactly. You should keep that model. It works. I don't think the customers should have to pay for that. That's the one thing about crypto that always has been a little awkward when I first got in, is that the person that sends the money is the person that pays for you see what I'm saying? Like I feel it's just weird to me. I don't know. So I feel like if I send you, let's say 0.2 Bitcoin, I send you 0.2, and then when it gets to you, you deal with it. But it's not that's bad. It's backwards, I guess, from how we're used to it. So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a little backwards. But again, we make our money off the merchants. And then when we actually, the buying and selling of crypto, there's obviously, a percentage there that has to happen because we have to actually pay the exchanges and the conversion fees and things like that. Because there's nothing straightforward about going from crypto to fiat, mm-hmm. or from, basically plugging it into your bank account to the Monarch wallet, to buying from, these various exchanges. There's lots of people in between, so to speak, these financial institutions and things like that all want their beaks, They all
Hmm.
want to get their beaks wet, so to speak, right? So there's
Somebody asked if they could shut down barter decks. I don't think you can shut down Komodo's barter decks. I don't think barter decks is centralized anywhere, from what I'm aware of. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've talked to I don't know specifically, but the guys at Komodo, I don't think you can shut down barter decks, because I know with their decentralized ICOs that they were doing, basically there was no way for anyone to come in because those tokens just appear in a wallet. And they're not traceable for where they're coming from. So that's to answer that question. And sorry, I just had a lot of questions on this side. I don't mean to cut you off, Beetle. Somebody else wanted to know about, you're talking about payment systems and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts on like what like PundiX is doing with their point of sale devices? Do you think that that's an extra step that we don't need, or do we still need those point of sales? Because even with Monarch, are we all just going to be scanning phones, or will these merchants need a POS or something?
So think about it, okay? In PundiX, I don't look at them as a competitor, but we do some overlapping things. And so I'm not saying this to trash talk them. I'm just saying this as a realist, all right? And you guys can take this for whatever it's worth. But say that you own a liquor store, all right? Say you have your own point of sale in there. It's used to accepting MasterCard, Visa, all that kind of stuff. I'm PundiX. I come to you and I say, hey, guys, check it out. People are now going to be able to start buying your liquor with our tokens, but you got to spend $300 to $500 to buy this machine that you plug in next to this other stuff. Why in the hell would you do that? Think about it. Why would you do it? So you might be able to get some test cases where you give these machines to people for, you find a string of stores, 1,000 of them or whatever, use investors' money. You put 1,000 of them out there for free. It's good press, right? We're in 1,000 stores, right? But did those 1,000 stores pay $500 for that unit? Wouldn't it make more sense to basically create, an app or a DApp or whatever that integrates in with that system, that point of sale that they're already using?
Right. I mean, you got Google Wallet, you got Apple Pay. I mean, those are you're essentially tapping, scanning. I mean, sure. You go to an airport now, you buy a ticket, you're scanning. All you're doing is scanning.
Apple doesn't have freaking devices in those liquor stores. You know what I mean? They know that. So it's like, what makes people think that, people would spend $300 to $500 or whatever it costs to put these in stores across the country or the world? To me, it sounds crazy. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But from a guy that's put products in stores across the country, I know how difficult it is to get something for free in those stores, let alone charge those stores, a bunch of money to put something in that they're not vested in. What do they get out of it? What do they get out of it? What do I do with this PundiX? Now, what do I get to do? Well, now that you have those tokens, you want to transfer them to a stable coin, because that liquor could totally, like the tokens you got for it could totally like plummet tomorrow. So now you just lost your ass on all that stuff. So hold on a second. So I just paid $300 to $500 for this, this hardware device, and I'm getting your tokens that aren't stable, that may crash tomorrow or go up tomorrow. Who knows? I mean, think about how ridiculous that is. If you're a store owner and you got people to feed and you got employees, to me, I would never do that. So, and people can hate me for saying that, but I'm just being real. I mean, it's like, I know how hard it is to get something for free in stores, and trying to get people to pay for a hardware device. It would make a lot more sense to me if you just create something that integrates with what they have. That way they don't have to change anything.
There's a lot of projects out there that are exactly like what you're saying. They're like, we don't need to build out this extra infrastructure. We already have it. You guys, what you're really looking for is software. That's really what you're looking for. Like, you already have these devices.
Something like that will win. Whoever.
Hack Crypto's in the chat. Can you run through an example of the multi-sig recurring payments on Monarch? You guys are still working on that currently, right?
Yeah, actually, right now we're in tests with several different companies. So, well, by the end of the year, you guys are going to see something really, really freaking
Well, when you guys roll that out, let me know, because we're looking for recurring payments on the newsletter. Because some people want to pay in crypto, and unfortunately, right now, we've just been basically using credit cards. But I'd love to link up, and that'd be great. Then people could actually have reoccurring crypto payments, and that's a big barrier. That's something that we need. So, Electroneum.
Yeah, I got a ton of questions.
Thoughts on Electroneum, mobile miner, free coins, instant payment, first KYC crypto, e-commerce, point of sale integration. Well, the thing
violates the terms of service, for a lot of these mobile devices. Number one, so with a mobile miner,
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people, including myself, I was kind of dissing on it because when it first came out, Electroneum, and I'm just gonna be real, like straight up, because you know I came from like a marketing background, and I felt like the project was run by marketers. It wasn't really run by like tech people. I felt like it was mostly just guys that knew how to promote, right? And then you know the whole mobile mining thing. Well, you're not really mining; they're just sort of being released over time, right? I mean, you're not with your phone. I mean, you're not consuming energy to mine the coins, are you? For Electroneum?
Are you supposed to mine the coins? Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you got a
think
mobile.
you like play. I've never tried it personally, but what do? You play games? Something someone in the chat is asking about it. I guess you play games or something, and you get tokens released over time. And then I suppose, like you know, hypothetically speaking, if these have value and you are in like one of these other countries, you could convert that into actual money. So that's kind of cool, I guess.
Dude,
So
anything where basically you're rewarded for doing what you're going to do anyways is pretty awesome, right? The only thing that I worry about it is if it violates the terms of service for Google or Apple and they end up, kicking them off and people lose money because of it. So that's the only thing I worry about, right? But what you said sounds cool. I mean, if basically you're playing a game and you're rewarded for playing it and you can take that money and cash out and buy a freaking gallon of gas or whatever you want with it, I mean, that's pretty awesome. So yeah,
yeah, I
it's
mean, Limpo pays you to work out. Mithril pays you to basically take pictures. So, I mean, there's always ways. There's always something
yeah.
out there. And I don't think it's going to stop. I mean, I think once the regulations, like you said, come in and they start figuring out what's what and what's used for what, I don't see tokenization stopping. I used to think it was ridiculous, but now I'm starting to realize they're just going to do it anyway because they're doing it with real estate. They're doing it with a lot of different things right now. So tokenization is going to happen. But like you said, it's just going to be, you know, probably most likely a security is what they're going
Yeah.
to be now. So that's why you got over, you know, 2,080, whatever it is, cryptos on CoinMarketCap, you know, all about to get a big wake up call next year. You guys really need to shift your perspective or we're basically not going to let you do what you're doing right now. So,
Yep. So they're talking about here P3D. You understand
yeah,
P3D?
P3D, that's like a it's like a gambling type thing in that like you I haven't looked in it in months, but I think it's kind of like where you I don't know, actually. It's been so long since I looked at it. It's something like where like there's like a pot and whoever proof of weak hands, whoever sells first, the last man standing. Guys, I honestly I haven't looked at P3D in since the summertime. And all I know is when I went to the website, it was literally a picture of two pyramids on top of each other. And, you know, my mind just said BitConnect and I just walked away. So that's the truth. It could be the greatest thing since sliced bread. For me, it's not my thing. I don't do the BitConnect thing. I don't do none of that stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, I got to tell you, like when I look at the site, it's they've polished it up a little bit, but proof of looks like proof of weak hands. Is that what it is, or proof of? Let's see here. What does it stand for?
I don't think I can pull it up right now because my screen, if I pull it up, it'll actually take my whole screen over.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's some red flags for sure when I look at it. They got Vitalik on there. They got McAfee on there. They're selling clothing.
Mark Benjamin, Dash Text.
I
Now,
gotta look at it. I'm
Dash
gonna look
Text
at
is
it.
cool. I like Dash Text. That's basically so people that don't have smartphones, they actually can just SMS it to each other now. So that's a pretty cool advancement. I mean, for some people. Just kind of reading through the chat right now. Everybody, it's crazy to see all the different perspectives on things right now. Everyone's saying it's just crazy. Like time flies in crypto, man. I mean, I've been doing this crazy for almost a year now. I can't believe it, and just I still see the same faces on here, the same people. And it's just really great that everyone really believes in, the tech. It's unfortunate about the money and stuff. I mean, there's so many people on the channel. They'll be like, oh, you were talking about this project and it's down. It's like, are you sure it was just that one? Are you sure it wasn't the whole market? I mean, the best thing that you really could have done was hold Bitcoin. But you even then you still would have lost money. So it's tough. Yeah, I like Quant, Dustin. I like interoperability projects, things that are trying to glue together different projects in the space. Definitely.
Yeah, I get a lot of statements on mine. It's a lot of people just, I don't see a lot of questions. It's mostly statements. People would talk about, see, Lenny Surf asked about Kin. I was an early investor in Kin. They've got a huge, basically community behind them, right? So, if it takes off with what they're doing, I mean, it could be, it could be pretty good for people. So,
Yeah,
Ken is
I
one.
had somebody in the chat also say that they had a cloud mining contract, and now they're getting a little cheeky
Hash
on.
flare.
I don't. I was way back. It might have been Genesis if they're still doing it,
Okay.
and they're getting a little slow on payments or something like that.
You
So
got to withdraw every day, man. Yeah. Like hash flare is one that I got into, a long time ago. And yeah, you got to withdraw every single day. But yeah, let's see here. I don't see a lot of questions here, mostly statements of sorts.
what do you think? Is cloud mining a scam? I mean, essentially you're just paying them a set rate for a contract and then they're doing it for you, but you're not really guaranteed to make money in the sense of if you had your own equipment, it's a little different, but people do it because it's cheaper. But
Yeah. So yeah, I think, when it first came out, if you got into the right one, it was lucrative and profitable. Right now, I think it's a little risky, right? Because everything is, it's costing more than what it's worth, or close to that point. So I'm thinking right now that me personally, there's no way I would buy a contract right now. There's no way. It just doesn't pencil out for me. But when I got in, a long time ago, it did kind of pencil out. Hashflare was the one that I used. I make sure to withdraw every single day. But those guys, even still, they have some issues. They really tightened the withdrawal limit, so that's why I do it every day. Because if you were to like try and take out a bunch, like each month, you would have to take out a chunk every single day. But again, it's not something I recommend in today's climate at all. But everybody else needs to, do their own due diligence of sorts and see if it's right for them.
yo, Ken Bozak is in the chat. What is up, Ken?
Ken, what is up, bro?
Dropping 420 like a boss. Come on, buddy. Oh, that's so cool. It's so nice to see Ken in the chat. I love Ken. He's great, man.
Yes,
I don't know how the hell that guy lives at conferences though, man. I see me, I'm like, see my problem, everyone's like, oh, you're always in front of a green screen. It's like, dude, honestly, like I get homesick. Like, I don't know how these people do it. Like I'm the kind of guy, like I go on vacation and after like 5 days, I like just want to go home to my bed. I don't know about everybody else. I just get like, can anybody else relate to that? I mean, some people can just like live out in the open forever. Me, I just like want to come home to like my little, my house, my bed, and I don't love the weather right now in New York. I wish it was a little nicer, to be honest with you. Freaking God, for the next 3 months. We got to have a bear market, and it's got to be freaking freezing over here. I'm going to come move in with you, Beadles. I'm moving in for the next 3 months, so.
I'll tell you, man, that might not be a bad idea starting like maybe next week, but we had all the fires just stretched out across California, man. So it was just this big smoky soup bowl from one end to the other. So it was awful. But then the past couple of days, it's been raining like crazy. So thank God, man, it's putting out some of those fires, right? So like right now you go outside and it's just dumping rain, which is awesome because it's putting out the fires. But, I guess it's better than snow. So it is better than snow. It's still a little cold, still a little wet, but yeah.
How is that going over there with all those fires, man? I mean, you were basically front and center, right? I mean, is everything all right? I mean, on a serious note, I know it's a crypto talk, but I mean, is everyone all right out there? And
Well, no, not really. Not for like Paradise. It's a city about an hour north of Sacramento. They lost about I know at least 80 people. There's about 1,200 people missing.
Oh, wow.
So, and the fire got up to like 1,200 degrees. So basically incinerates everything to where, if there was people there that are missing, good luck finding them, right? Because they're basically just dust. So it's really horrible for, the city, the people, the friends, the family, all that kind of stuff is awful, right? And then the rest of California is, breathing the smoke. So you got people, just sick all over the place because, they can't, they just can't even go outside, even in their house, if they don't have like HEPA filters and stuff like that, when their air conditioning units are just breathing in smoke. So yeah, it was a really bad situation. So the weather that came in over the past couple of days, man, definitely, grace of God, man, all the wind that came through, the rain that came through, that definitely helped out a lot. But yeah, no, it sucks. Yeah, it really sucks, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I just kind of wanted to just touch on that. People, that's a serious situation going on right now. So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, what else is going on? I mean, we're just having fun tonight, guys. We're just hanging out. We really didn't have anything planned. I mean, honestly, there's not really much to talk about. Everything that you guys see is what we're going through. No one here is like there's no real experts in this space, in my opinion. There's people that have been here longer than others. You know, the longer I'm in this, the more I realize that this may actually be a prolonged period, you know, and this may actually stretch out. It could potentially for a couple more months, but I don't really mind it. Like I actually liked when Bitcoin was level, like when we were just chilling at that kind of 6,000. I like got comfortable with it, you know, and I wish it would have stayed like that because it felt like we could actually build the infrastructure from there. You know, you could send Bitcoin, and when it got to the other end, it was still kind of what it was the day before, and I really enjoyed it. And believe it or not, the bear market having that level off period actually allowed me to envision the future of how I actually see crypto, you know, once hopefully there's a higher market cap and all that other stuff. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to see, you know, the price go back up. And, you know, we're going to need money to come in to do that, right? So without things like the ETF backed, you know, big whales, you know, buying on exchanges, things like that, it's going to be difficult. Just chilling at 6,000 is cool. You know, it sucks for the people that bought it in January, right? Because, you know, they're all hoping for 20K. They're especially over Thanksgiving, right? They're trying to explain to their friends and family and everybody else why, hey, you told me to buy into Bitcoin last, you know, Thanksgiving, you know, it's supposed to be, you know, freaking to the moon. And now it's, you know, it's in the gutter. What happened? I lost my ass, you know, so it's difficult. It's difficult for people. I get that. But again, man, if you look at history, right? If you look back where it's, you know, where it's came from, where I think it's going to go, I think we just got to kind of sit tight on good, solid projects, right? And I think everything will be all right.
Bitcoin is still the best performing asset in the past 5 years. I was reading a study
you
on
doubled
it.
your money, right?
There's nothing that has performed better than that. So
yeah, you doubled your money from when you got in. The problem is a lot of people got in a little bit later than that, you know, are watching, you know, the YouTube. And so,
yeah, I know it's all our fault. It's all our fault, guys. We got excited. We started making videos, and everybody blamed us. It's like I'm just a guy in front of a camera, man. Like that's the funny thing too. It's like as far as buying, but like moving markets, man. Like none of us have power. I mean, even like the Bitcoin Cash guys. You know, I've heard so much about like, oh, these guys, they're just crazy manipulating it. I think that they have a level of ability to manipulate it, but I still don't think that Roger Ver and, you know, Craig Wright and Jihan Wu alone have enough power to crash the entire market. Personally, I don't think they do. They have influence to, you know, instill like fear and panic selling and stuff like that, but I don't think individually they alone could crash the market. I think there's something bigger going on. And getting actually back, I remember a while ago, I was talking tinfoil hat. That's what it was. Conspiracy. So I was wondering if there's something else going on. You know, backed all of a sudden conveniently gets canceled and then the price drops like right before. You know, like these could be coincidences, but for me they seem too perfect. They just seem too perfect.
There really isn't coincidences all that much in life, you know, and so I have to be careful what I say. But again, I was seeing orders to sell 300,000 Bitcoin a week before Bakkt announced they were backing out. People, I think, knew. So, you know, obviously there's more to it than just, you know, Roger Ver and fake Toshi, right? There's a lot more to it than just that. That scared people for sure. That obviously didn't help Wall Street. You know, when Wall Street heard about, you know, SEC coming in on AirFox and Paragon, and you got Craig Wright saying he's going to drop Bitcoin to 1,000. There's a fatal flaw in Bitcoin. He's going to exploit it. Bitcoin's going to be nothing next year. You know, that is not good for the space. Those are not the diplomats we need pushing us forward, right? Those are not the statesmen that we need, right? And so none of that helped. And then when the ETF, Fidelity, you know, Bakkt, all these things haven't come out this year, that doesn't help either. But, you know, if you're expecting it to go up in the next month or two, in my opinion, it's probably not going to happen. But next year is a whole new year, man. And with people actually dropping tech, people actually dropping value, some of the big money actually moving in, I think we're going to start seeing, you know, some more gains again, especially in the projects that are SEC compliant.
I think that's what I'm most excited for, to be honest with you, man. I mean, it's fun. We could sit there and trade Bitcoin all day. I mean, literally, Tone Vase literally has a full show just devoted to that if you guys ever want to go see it. I'm excited for these freaking dApps, personally. I want something that I can use, that I can be proud of, that I can show to like friends and family and be like, look, this is better than what you're using, and it's decentralized. And all that crap that I've been talking about for the past year that everyone's like, oh, the crypto zombie, what does he talk about on this channel? It's like, yeah, well, look, now you guys are using that app every day, you know? And that's what I'm excited for. I can't wait to see what we actually build. Because I mean, I
No,
already know what
exactly.
Bitcoin does. I know what it does. It's I get it. You know, I want to use stuff now, and a lot of the stuff out there sucks. I'm just gonna say it. It's not user friendly.
We don't
So
have any, to my knowledge, we have nothing that is decentralized that works on blockchain that works well enough for anybody more than 9 to 100 people to use it every day. So, that's not a very good use case, right? We need I mean, if it has to be like Angry Birds or something like that on the blockchain, something, whatever, man, who cares? Like, a Facebook or something, that right there would help do it. Right now, I think our first entry to market to where things actually start picking up for us is going to be the financial institutions. When people can actually start sending and receiving some kind of cryptocurrency and being able to exchange it for a service or some type of product on the other side without having to go through a bunch of hoops. And so I think that's probably where it's going to be. Some people say gaming, that very well could be. It could be social media, but I think it's going to be the financial institutions first. But again, if you're just looking for straight gains the whole way through, then, probably, this maybe isn't for you in the next, however long, because there's more to crypto than just, making a quick buck, right? You
mhm.
gotta, think, long term, right? You gotta think this is the future. This is where things are going. If I invest in the right things or participate in the right things, eventually we'll get where we need to go.
Mhm.
And so, I think people need to kind of look at it from a different mindset from 2017. And everybody keeps saying win moon, win exchange, win this,
Oh,
win that.
oh,
It's like,
dude, I gotta tell you, it's so different now. Even just on my channel, like like the people that are joining the Telegram chat. I mean, yeah, we all talk about money, but like it's a little different conversations now, and I like it. It's a little more down to earth. It's not so like in your face, like buy this coin, buy that coin, and I do like that, and I appreciate it, and I feel like the people who are here are literally here because they want to be here.
yeah,
And it really, it's a good feeling. It really is, man. And like you said, yeah, Angry Birds, right? What about that game Flappy Bird? Remember that thing where you could just tap it? That could have been a blockchain game. Why not?
anything,
I mean, it
man.
was.
Anything that gets users on the chain, right? So,
Now everyone's just saying when moon. Never mind. They're back. They're back. They came back.
that's
So
awesome, man. Let's see here. So I got a bunch of people here to see here. Ken Bosak, what's up, my brother? How you doing? He is such a fun dude, man.
thoughts on Nano. I think Nano's pretty cool.
They're awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
I
great.
love Nano. It's been someone in the
Quick,
chat saying
quick
Nano.
transactions. It's great, man.
They're
Yeah.
using it right now. Did you see I think it was like $300 or $600 they sent this woman in Venezuela, and she was able to buy enough school supplies for the entire school or something like
Awesome,
that. It
man.
was nuts. Yeah, so
That's what
great
it's all
things.
about. That's what it's
Mhm.
all about, man. But let's see here. Ed asks, if I like Digibyte or Litecoin. Digibyte all day long. Can't stand Litecoin. Sorry. Let's see here. Actually, believe it or not, I like the fork of Litecoin better than I like Litecoin. I like Litecoin Cash better than I like Litecoin.
Oh my God.
You
Well, that's should we talk about this? I didn't know you didn't like Litecoin.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's the first clone of Bitcoin. That's the first, but it's a clone of Bitcoin. Charlie Lee, all those guys. A lot of people like them. Some people don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan, dude. I'm not a big
I
fan.
mean, for a while when I first got in, it was more of like the test, the test ground for Bitcoin. Like they would do a lot of stuff on
Yeah.
Litecoin first to see how it would work. But I've heard a few people say Litecoin is the original shitcoin. That's what I've heard people say. I don't know. I used to do a lot of transaction with Litecoin. I don't anymore. Now I use Ethereum. I got to try XRP though. A little bit. So we'll see how that is. I really don't use it that much personally. But
There's stuff that works. I mean, yeah, like Nano, Digibyte, Stellar, Ripple. Those things work. They're fast. They're quick. Bitcoin, it's a little scary to use because it is. I mean, come on, let's face it. It's kind of like our digital gold, like everybody calls it, right? So I don't like to use my Bitcoin to pay for stuff because I'm worried about that $5 sandwich being worth $50 next week. Anybody and everybody is.
mhm.
So if they say that they're not, they're just purists, whatever. Well, God bless
It's
them.
so true.
Most-
It is store
yeah.
of value for me, man. I don't pay for. I mean, I don't use Bitcoin for payments. I use Ether. So
We need stable coins, man. That's why I added TUSD, right? Because it's stable. But again, it's hard to find people, that can take it without having to take it to an exchange and then have an off ramp to their bank account, whatever. So, but it's a stable coin. Nano Stellar, XLM, good stuff, man. Digibyte, good stuff. Not a fan of Litecoin.
yeah,
Sorry.
Digibyte I like. I actually I had
Good too, man.
Josiah on a little bit ago. He was talking about it. He's the ambassador and stuff, and they have like the longest chain technically. So it was funny while they were having this big Bitcoin Cash debacle, the Digibyte guys were like, "Well, then we're the real Bitcoin because we have the longest chain." Like it's just like anyone can be the real Bitcoin. It's like, come on, guys. So XRP, K-Dub, seriously? Hey Don, listen, I don't actually own any XRP. I'm not against using it. I just don't own any personally. The thing for me about the whole XRP thing, this is my stance on it. I don't own it. I don't really use it. Doesn't mean that I have anything really super against it. You know, I used to think it was just the bank coin. I just think personally, if exchanges, like I said earlier, Binance and these other guys start adding more XRP trading pairs, we'll be able to decouple ourselves from Bitcoin. And hopefully when Bitcoin gets hit, we won't see as much damage to some of the lower coins. That's all I'm saying. I think right now, it's a bottleneck. There's only one way to get in and one way to get out, and it's like 99% of the time Bitcoin. So that's all I was saying about it, really.
A lot of people, though, especially that are still in crypto, you know, a lot of them are purists, which is, you know, I've been in since 2011, so I've seen both sides of it. So people are, you know, worried about, you know, centralization, you know, a big brother or big companies running off with your money, running off with your keys, controlling, locking things down. So people have an issue with XRP because they see it as centralized. They see it as, you know, kind of big brother of sorts, you know, a banker's coin. But at the same time, I mean, it works. Okay, it works. Yeah, they can freeze tokens and stuff like that, and that's not cool. We definitely need something better than that. But it works today, and there needs to be some kind of, I don't know, like this give and take between centralized and decentralized. Like I always say, man, you got to be able to have some customer support. You got to be able to, like, it's cool. Like I said earlier, man, you know, with Bitcoin, it's awesome that you can send peer to peer. But if you screw up and you send in the wrong address, you're toast. You know, that money's lost. If you lose your private key, you're toast. You know what I mean? All that money's gone. So with some centralized aspects of it, that's going to give people the assurance, the security that they're going to need to get into crypto. For us that have been here for a long time, that are like super purists, they don't get it. It's like, you know, it's horrible to them. It scares the crap out of them. They don't like it. They just instantly hate it. But I'm telling you, man, to get the masses in, there has to be a layer of centralization just on the customer support side of things to allow people the safety that they need to interact with crypto, because as soon as they start losing their money and they can't access it, they're done forever, dude. You're never going to get them back. So there has to be a little bit of both in there, you know. So that's why I like Ripple just a little bit. I mean, it works. You know,
yeah, no, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I told everybody I don't judge anybody anymore in crypto, man. I don't care what coin you use. You want to use this, you want to use that, whatever. We all have our own opinions, preferences. Some work better than others, and sometimes you just can't deny what coins are doing. You know, I mean, when I first got in, but the other thing too is like when you first get into crypto, you do unfortunately just kind of follow what you see. You know, like people see us talk, and I've understood that I need that I have that responsibility to do due diligence. You know, back when we first got on, everybody was just starting up a crypto channel. We were just opening up CoinMarketCap, throwing a dart, going like, yeah, that coin, you know, and it would go up 10, 15%, and you're a genius, whatever. You know, it's different now, and I feel that we as a community have grown. I've seen people in my Telegram chat grow. I've seen the community grow, the comments on the videos. People are maturing. The people are getting smarter, you know what I mean? And it sucks that it took that year of a bear market and money being lost to wake us up, but it had to happen inevitably. If it wasn't us, it was going to be somebody else. I'm just happy to be a part of it in general. And it sounds stupid, but you know, money's not everything. Unfortunately, it helps, but it's not everything, guys. And what we're really building here is way bigger than just, you know, making some sick gains over the weekend. So that's my opinion on everything.
Yeah, no, I'm on board with you, you know, but I realize that most people in crypto are there for the gains.
Oh yeah,
sorts,
clearly,
right?
clearly.
So, you know, we just got to make sure we're picking the projects that, you know, are in it for the right reasons, like we are, right? So, you know, if you support the solid projects, then hopefully you'll get solid returns, because nobody wants to, you know, put $10 out and get $10 back. Nobody wants to put $10 out and get $0 back, right? So, we definitely need some projects, man, that actually live up to the hype, that actually deliver what they say they're going to do. And yeah, hopefully we're going to see a lot of that next year, because if we see that, you're going to see this market take off like crazy. As soon as you get one use case, man, that's all we need. We just need one solid use case. We don't have any. We have none. Anybody that tells you we do is full of crap. Like, you got Coinbase that controls like 95, 98%, you know, of the entry, you know, here in the US into crypto, right? I mean, it's like, well, maybe not just Coinbase, but centralized exchanges per se are the ones that control 95, 98% of the crypto, at least the fiat to crypto on ramps, right? So, that tells you something right there. So the whole decentralized route that everybody's trying to, preach to isn't freaking working, man. So they need to create something that does work, that offers some decentralized aspects to it. And then I think we're going to see, not only a solid use case that we're all wanting to see, we're all going to be able to embrace blockchain. We're all going to have that projects like, yeah, that's the one. But then you also get some gains too. So
exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, that's basically, to summarize it up, man. I just, my dinner, my girlfriend, she just finished cooking. She's kind of, so I got to get going a little bit soon. But yes, so everybody in here, thank you for everyone that came out. Beadles, I appreciate it, man. This is your second live stream. You're a madman. But you're here for the people, and I do appreciate it. And I want to say thank you again for stopping by on this Friday. Like we're not going to say that the markets are going to turn around tomorrow. We're not, we're not crystal ball readers, but it's just really nice to have everybody here. And especially you, Beadles. Thank you so much for, taking your time out of your day and just kind of setting it straight for people and just telling them how it is, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, good times are ahead, man. Just make sure you're in it for the right reasons, man. And just, yeah, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody that's, on the feed right here. I love you guys. Love you gals. God bless you. And then also I give away $100 of Ethereum on every single one of my episodes, every single one of these little shows. So for the keyword for, people that watch this video later, just put in zombie, right? So zombie will be the keyword. And then make sure you guys put your public Ethereum address, like, comment, share, all that kind of cool stuff. Somebody's going to win $100 on this video as well.
Well, there you go. You're way cooler than me. I wish I could give $100 away every video, but one day, guys.
See people participate in crypto, man.
There you go.
So that way, if they lose it, hey, it didn't really hurt.
There you guys go. Go over to the channel, type in zombie, and you could win $100. See. Look at that, guys. And you didn't even know that was gonna happen tonight. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys are seriously freaking awesome. Beadles, I really appreciate it, dude. For everyone that came out, thanks again. And, yeah, until next time, guys, stay crypto.
Cool.
And
love you guys. God bless, man. All right.
Peace out.
Take care, my brother.